So, good morning, everyone. As you might have figured out already, most of my clips are just going to work and back on the VMoto Stash, which, if you ask me, is the perfect use for this bike. Commutes around major cities, so you can squeeze through traffic, get work, get back, go shopping. Of course, limited shopping, because you're kind of limited by what you can put in the storage compartment and what you can carry in on your backpack, or if you have like a storage box on your tail, then yeah, you can fit a bit more stuff. I have had this for the past almost 1.5 years, something like that. I'm pretty happy with it. I spent around 4,500 kilometers on it. I have a pretty good idea of what this bike can do and can't. Just a disclaimer, I know it's considered a scooter, an electric scooter, but I still like to call it a bike, just because of the format and the position on it, which is similar more to a motorcycle than a scooter. That's actually one of the reasons that I got it, just because I feel like I have more control on it than on a regular scooter. And of course you can do stuff like this. It's a bit higher than a scooter and then most of the super bikes, let's say, or super sport bikes. So yeah, it's a great piece of machinery for me and my commute. It cuts down the time I spent in half almost, which is basically the idea why I got on two wheels. Especially now with the heat wave in Romania, it's not always the greatest idea to be on two wheels stuck in traffic just because you can't filter and sweating bullets. So yeah, but on the other hand, my commute time, as I said, dropped in half, which is awesome, of course. And that basically means I can move faster, be faster home to spend time with my kids, and work on my other little personal projects. Now, the bike itself. Full gear, I think I weigh around 110 kilograms. And with this bike I have a range of 120 kilometers, which is more than enough if you ask me. And at least for this commuting purpose and going into city for shopping, I don't know, things where you need a hard drive, a cable, and you need to act fast to complete your project, then this bike is perfect. Will it be for everybody? No, of course not. It's an EV, not everybody likes EV. The reason actually why I chose it was just because in Romania they recently adopted last year the law where if you have your normal driver's license for a regular car, then you can drive one of these after completing 10-hour training sessions, the training course, let's say, not session, because you won't be doing them all at once. So after completing a 10-hour training, you are allowed to drive such a thing, and that was the fastest way I could get on two wheels. End of story. Would I buy it again in the same circumstances? Yes, but if you have a normal bike license, this might not be for you, just because it's one of the, let's say, lower end electric bikes, I think. the quality of the build is not that great. You can feel the plastics shifting around, especially near the gas engine, what do you call it? Gas tank, fake gas tank. Also, there is an issue with the back end arm, at least for me, where it unscrews quite easily, and I constantly have to tighten it. And I'm not referring to the back arm of the bike that's holding the wheel, but the extension that's holding the license plate, the signaling system, and all that. So yeah, that has to do like regular maintenance. You have to check it and tighten it, just because with all the potholes, all the things, it becomes loose quite easily. And each time I'm a bit reluctant if that's gonna happen or not. Today I hope I can get some Loctite, red or blue, something, and make sure that this doesn't happen during one of my rides. But together with the range anxiety, there are two things that I have to fight over. The feeling that at any time this might become loose, and the feeling that I don't know, if I get to work and there is no free charging station or charging free socket, then I might have an issue coming back home. So these two are in constant internal fights. Yeah, the good part, because it's not all bad. So after 4,500 kilometers, the time saving is huge, at least for me. On average, on every 100 kilometers spent on the bike, I save up 2 hours. So do the math there. It's 45 times 2, 90 hours that I've saved up in traffic just in this period. And I had a huge period last year when I couldn't ride, just because I was moving around and I had to take the big car. I know EV is a controversial topic. It depends on the way that you're looking at. If you have free charging at work, if you have the options to keep it underground and all that, then basically your commute becomes free. Depending on how often do you commute, that implies a lot of cost saving. For me, for example, with a full charge, 120 kilometers, that means I can do about 2 round trips and not have any range anxiety if I ride chill. If I go a bit super sport, it's 1.5 round trips. Yeah. Now, for the ones that don't know the bike, basic controls. You have cruise control, you have your warning lights, hazard lights on the right side, you have the 1, 2, 3, which are the driving modes, one being Eco, 2 normal, 3 sport, and below that you have a button that if you push and twist the acceleration knob, basically you have reverse, which is nice, especially when you're fully geared for let's say autumn or beginning of winter, and it's harder for you to move around the bike just because you're wearing so much gear, 3-layer jacket and all that. On the left side you have the controls for the screen. You have 2 basically modes where you can look at. It's this one that basically, I don't know if the camera will catch it, which is the one that I like most. Then you have some settings, and this is the second screen that you can use. This one I find a bit more simplistic. I like to see more details regarding my bike and all that. Yeah. Now, the headlight I like it very much. It's powerful. What I don't like about it, and it's something where I'm pretty picky usually, is the angle at which it is positioned. I would like it to have. I would like to have it a bit more up. I think it lights up only like 20-30 meters in front of you. And myself, I have some issues with my eyes, and I would like to see a bit further, but especially during the night. And the high beam is awesome. You can see a lot in front of you, but of course around cities you can't really use that. And the bad part is that in order to adjust it, you have to unmount the whole front end and tweak with it. I didn't get to do that. I'm still getting into this two-wheel lifestyle. I'm nervous about like making sure my chain maintenance is on point and all that. So with that being having said, I'm getting slowly into taking this bike apart and make sure we do the proper maintenance on it and all that. Now, power-wise, although I'm in sports, sometimes I feel like if the battery is below 70%, it's just the feeling. It feels like it doesn't deliver the same amount of power like when I'm in the top areas. But you can still overtake. You can still go for short bursts of power. You have a boost button also that I don't find that useful. I for one, it should give you like a 3-second boost, but I don't feel anything on that 3-second boost. I feel it more like if you give it a bit of power, then you go flat out. I don't know if it's a personal feeling that the bike moves holds ass faster. It's just me. Now, as I said, I picked the bike just because it was the fastest way for me to get on two wheels. I had to commute quite often after the pandemics to the office. And this was the quickest way for me to avoid traffic jams. And here is especially crazy when school starts, like in September up to June. From September to June, traffic is just chaos. Everybody's dropping off, picking up kids. It's always crowded, it's always busy, everybody's pissed off. Nobody's paying attention. For example, there's a lot of road in this area, but I try not to overpass on the right if it's possible. Especially, look, that's one of the reasons I don't overpass on the right when it's such wide lanes, just because sometimes you are not seen by the drivers. And now he's actually being fucking stupid, so best way to go from stupid is away. Usually the drivers are quite nice. The situation in Romania actually with motorcycles changed a lot the past 2 years. A lot of drivers make room for you. The police became more friendly. Sometimes they invite you into intersections that a normal car will block and stay for 15 minutes. They know that you on two wheels can fast haul ass from there, so they actually signal you to jump in front. That was a bit stupid from my side. Yeah, I'm still learning. I'm still looking at various stuff. Now, I am planning to get my regular motorcycle license. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it this year, as the season is short. Here, a lot of the exams stop somewhere mid-November, just because the policemen don't want to get out in the cold. So, not sure if I will have the time to take it this year, but I hope I can get it soon. Just because I want a proper bike. Now that I've got accustomed with the life of two wheels, let's say, a bit, I want to go for longer drives. I want to go into the mountainside. I want to experience more twists and turns and all that. And unfortunately, with this bike, I can't. I would love to, but it has the proprietary socket to charge it up, and I should buy some additional stuff like conversion from Type 2 EV charger to Shuko. Not everybody is not all the charging stations allow that, so if they see that you have issues charging some connectors from your socket, then they will basically deny your charger. They will stop your charging process. So yeah, that can be a very huge gamble, trying to take that adapter and its charging adapter. You could technically do it and obtain longer ranges, but you really need to plan carefully to make sure that you get the most range when you're getting out of the cities. Like every time you get out of the city, I would basically stop at the charging point and make sure that I charge up to full. Now, the charge time is up to 4 hours. And basically this would give you the 120 kilometer range. Now, of course, if you are slimmer, your gear is not that heavy. For example, I always ride with a backpack and a few laptops on my back, then you should be seeing larger ranges without any issues. Unfortunately, on EV, the weight is an issue. The heavier you are, the less range you have. Now, just looking at this, my top range is somewhere around 120 kilometers an hour, as I said, and I think this is more than enough for most of the city driving. Now, another bad aspect is that if you live in an apartment building, then there's no way for you to pull up the battery, go up and charge it and all that. You will have to rely on multiple extension cords, which is not great, of course. I always hate multiple extension cords. Now, the bike itself, it draws a maximum of 3 kilowatts hour, and in Romania you can do that basically with any socket. You don't need anything special. Most of the extension cords are rated for that power, so having multiple should not technically be an issue, but if you get a bad one, then of course that can be an issue. Now, I live in the countryside. I have several external sockets that I can use. I love that. It's easy for me to pull up, plug in, have the bike full for the next day. Um, Also, when I go to work, usually I try to charge up there just to make sure that my commute is a bit cheaper. Because when you're looking at the costs, sometimes they build up very quickly and you need to make sure that you can keep up. I don't want to find myself in a situation where I can't handle the costs, so sometimes it's better to be a bit careful. On the other hand, that's also a risky situation sometimes because the breakers can jump and they do not have somebody that monitors that. So you can get to work, plug in your bike, say, I'm cool, I'm gonna go home with a full charge. And when you go down, you see that you are partially charged only. This is where the good part comes in, that the range is pretty decent. So if I have like 25-30% charge, I'm sure that I can get home. If I'm below that, then it becomes a bit more tricky. I try usually to make sure that I don't go that low. As I said, range anxiety, and I have a lot of that. I also have a hybrid car that I'm using. My commute is about 30 kilometers each way, so the Volvo XC90 2 can make that commute almost on full electric. I use the same regular socket to charge it up, just because the amount of charging it can pull, the amount of current it can pull, is rated for normal sockets. So if I go to a type 2 charging station, I get no benefit. I don't get the 22 kilowatts hour of charging, because the battery is small, the car is a bit older, and it is what it is. It's a 2019, I think. So not a big fan, but when you start looking at the costs and how things are shifting, yeah, it can look like a very good big deal, at least for the short commutes, to go hybrid or full electric. If you have at least if you also have the free charging offered by your employer or somehow. In Romania, for a while, all the big stores had charging stations that were for free, just to encourage people to get EVs, go shopping, put your car on the charger. You finish your shopping, then you just get in your car, you have a full charger, a big enough charge. And that was just to improve the adoption. Thank you. And in Romania, they invented this space where cars shouldn't be. The space right behind me, where basically cyclists and motorcycles can jump in front of the queue and make sure that they are safe. But of course, car drivers are still learning, so it is what it is. Try not to make such a big deal of it. It was something that they said they want to do for quite a while. Not everybody follows the laws and news and all that, and especially in this area with the riders on 2 wheels, they don't make that much marketing over what they implement to assist them. So, for example, we have right now special bus lanes where only buses and taxis can be, and they are debating that scooters and motorcycles should also get the approval to go through there. Just because a scooter or a motorcycle can easily jump into traffic and make room for a bus, then a car, a taxi, Uber, Bolt, or anything. Yeah, on the small streets, there's nothing we can do. I mean, I could try to pass, but I feel the risk reward is not what it should be. So why the hell do it? It's always good to be respectful. I mean, let's be serious. Everybody's just trying to get to work. Perfect. And now you'll see one of the reasons that I do this. This is a very crowded boulevard. Always we have issues here. They also put some pillars as a divider, and those pillars can be a pain for motorcycles, but as you can see, people are leaving quite a lot of space for us to go through, and that makes it a lot easier. The weather at least is nice. It's cool when you ride it. How about you guys? What do you think? Would you get a Chinese bike, or you would just avoid them like hell? For me, I would say go for it, but be aware of the kinks that it has. Some of the users complain that if you hit the brake and the acceleration at the same time, the bike shut down. So that's something that you have to also be aware of. It can happen. Again, proves people are stupid. Don't go through there, dude. this intersection is one of the worst ones for accidents and stuff. Always try to be a bit more cautious when going through traffic over here, especially in the morning. People didn't wake up, some of them didn't have their coffee. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Some are sleepy, some are going to a job they hate and are doing their best. Don't try to push them more just by being an asshole and going fast between them, or pushing intersections when, let's be serious, why did you move 30 seconds? And that situation was dangerous, if you ask me. Oh, come on. This was annoying. People are also pushing here the exit quite a lot. You need to be careful. As I said, they aren't. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. It matters that you are getting safe to your destination. And you can be 30 seconds, 5 minutes late, but I doubt those 5 minutes will make more of your workday than a broken limb or anything else. So I try to stay as safe as possible. And the roads themselves, especially after the heat wave, can be treacherous. I'm gonna show you a bit further up. There is an issue with the current road. It's not perfect here either, but over here somewhere after the crosswalk, it's a huge dip. I think over here somewhere, and it just goes, oh, there. I think this is it. So the road itself is very, it has a huge dip in it, and you can find yourself in a nasty situation just because. Surprisingly, I think here no stoplight is actually better. Usually in the morning there are huge queues. Yeah. Now, what do you think, guys? Going from this bike to what should I take into consideration? I like the fact that I have no clutch. It's just two brakes, front and back. So I am thinking DCT. Since it's gonna be the second one and I want to go cruising a bit, I was looking at the Honda NT 1100. Looks like a pretty cool bike to go on long tours, but on the other hand, I think the most commuter friendly bike is the NT 750X, also DCT. Yeah, let me know what you think. Let's have a conversation about it, maybe. I don't know. I'm new to this whole YouTube stuff. Probably let me know how many mistakes I make and etc. That's fine. Now, to be a bit PC regarding what's happening in the world, what do you think about the Fable 5? Please let me know in the comments. Thanks a lot, guys.